Are you crazy? Because I know I am, and this is Cardfight Crazy. And I thought since G is ending, it might actually be nice to do some deck profiles. Discuss what I'm playing at the end of G era, especially as some of these decks will probably go to premium, and some of them will, most of them will stay the way they are. And up first, my main clan, but definitely not my main deck, Oracle Think Tank. Alright, I'm going to go over this in the way that I build the deck, so starting with grade 3s. First off, the main grade 3 of the deck, 4 copies of Spiritual Sword of Rough Deity, Susanoo. Susanoo has 3 very nice skills. GB2 and Oracle from the Vanguard circle. At the beginning of your ride phase, look at the top card of your deck, and you can put that card on the top or bottom of your deck. But also at the beginning of your ride phase on Vanguard circle. At the beginning of your ride phase, if you have a face-up card with Amaterasu or Wakahirume in its card name in your G zone, you may soul charge 1. We got enough of those, and it's easy to flip them up. And his on-stride skill, Soul Blast 2, when your G unit stride during your turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. Nice, simple, good card, and definitely the better Susanoo out of these 3, though this one really is not that bad. And this is the original Susanoo. There's only 2 of them. Supreme Heavenly Battle Deity Susanoo. GB2, during your turn, if the number of cards in your hand is 4 or more, this unit gets plus 5k and +1 critical. Unfortunately, it's only on Vanguard because he's the original Stride Breaker, not like the new Brave Altmile. That card's so good. And Counterblast 1, during your turn, when your G unit stride, you may pay the cost you do. Look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, search for a card among them, put it into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So you do get to look at the top 2, tutor 1, and put the other one on the bottom. So that's nice, because you can check what you want with him. You can look at your top card, decide if you want to soul charge it, or soul charge a card, look at your top card, decide if you want to draw it. Good stuff. The starter I like to run, Deity Spirit Loyalist Ikutsu Hikone, GB1 Oracle. Put this unit into your soul and countercharge 1. And also rearguard, counterblast 1, and put this unit into your soul. When your unit with the Oracle ability is placed on Vanguard, be it by riding or by striding, if the number of cards in your hand is 4 or less, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. Simple combo is to stride over him. If you have 4 or less, throw that in the soul, and then you can use this and another card to soul blast out and draw up to 6 in your hand at that point, or however many. I generally like using him for the counter charge when you go into our main stride, Stillwater Festival Deity Ichikishima. But onto triggers, because like I said, the way I build a deck, 4 heals, 2 Lozenge Magus, and 2 Lozenge Magus Fairs. We do play Lozenge Magus Apex, so you can run her. And OTT did not get the counter charge or soul charge PGs, but they will at some point get them, says Bushiroad. So I like doing the 2 because you can return them to deck if you need to. It generally doesn't ever happen anymore. But if you draw 2 of them like right away, or you draw 3 of them in your opening hand, you can send 1 back or 2 back, whatever you need to do. Oh, and Lozenge Magus Fine does have another skill. Choose a grade 1 or less card from your hand and discard it when this unit is discarded from hand for the cost of calling Preserving 1 Lozenge Magus Apex from the G Zone. You may pay the cost if you do draw a card. And just in case anybody doesn't know Lozenge Magus, you can use her as the Forerunner. When an OTT rides this unit, you may call it to rearguard, and when this unit boosts, the boosted unit gets plus 3k until end of that battle, and at the beginning of the end phase of that turn, you return it to your deck. 10 critical triggers. 3 Psychic Bird, 4 Battle Sister Muffin, and 3 Divine Sword Kusanagi. Let's go over it in this order. Divine Sword Kusanagi is the Susanoo crit, so when your Susanoo grade 3 or greater attacks, because there is a grade 2 Susanoo, you can put it into your soul, draw a card, and give that unit plus 5k. The grade 2 Susanoo is the 12k attacker if you have an Amaterasu Vanguard. Just a fun fact, came out in BTO 9, because it came around when the Amaterasu Cross Ride, Goddess of the Sun, came out. Then we have Battle Sister Muffin, 4 of her because she can return to deck. That's very important, especially really late game with deck out and with the GB8. Put this unit on top of your deck. If you have Vanguard with Battle Sister in its card name, choose up to 1 other unit. Until its turn, it gets plus 3k, and Oracle, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, countercharge 2. You're never going to do that because we don't run any Battle Sisters at all. But, I mean, other than her. But just putting her back into the deck is the important part. And then 3 copies of Psychic Bird, or as my friends and I call him, Psychic Chauffeur. Put it into your soul, draw a card. And it's 10 crit because I do like the 2 draw. Oh yeah, this actually is a Battle Sister card. Battle Sister Ganache. Put it into your soul, give a unit plus 3k, so it's the Margot clone. But I like it at 10 crit 2 draw because damage checking a draw trigger in the early game is so wonderful. Damage checking a draw trigger late game when it's super crucial and it gets you that extra card to guard is great. And I find 10 crit 2 draw just works really well. I don't ever need to change it. On to grade 1s. 3 copies of Divine Sword Amino Murakumo. The nice thing about running 10 crit 2 draw is if I make this deck premium, then I already have 2 spaces where perfect cards would go. He's the Stride Fodder for Susanoo, helps you search out the right Susanoo if you call it and reveal. And then for discarding for Stride, he's a 1-card drop. That's all you need. This PG is still wonderful, still... it's still wonderful, but also irritating at times. So it's a perfect guard that can guard anything. And it has a skill from the drop zone, Oracle GB1. Counterblast 1 at the end of your turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, return this card to your hand, choose a card at random from your hand, and bind it face down. So, yeah, you can bind it face down. It happens. But it happens so little, you know, it's not all that necessary. And with 4 of them, it's nice because you can, if they're stacked up in your drop zone and you really need them, you know, you need 1 or 2, you can do 1, then you gotta do the bind, and then based on that, you can decide whether or not you have to do another. But it is great because you don't need another copy of him in the drop zone. If 3 of them ended up in the damage zone, you can still get a perfect guard back. Unlike a lot of others where you need another copy of that PG, you just need Oracle in this. This is another Stride Assister, but it's also got a great skill. So first off, the Stride part, GB1 and Oracle, retire at the beginning of your ride phase, you may pay the cost you do. Until end of turn, you may stride the next time you stride for free. Precious Ophidian, by the way. Grade 1, 6k. And the skill that I really do like as well, Soul Blast 1, when it's placed on Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with the Oracle ability, you may pay the cost and draw a card. That is not GB restricted, and so much of this deck is Oracle. All the grade 2s are Oracle, and all the grade 1s besides Stride Fodder are Oracle, and the good Susanoo is Oracle, and most of the G-Zone is Oracle. So you're gonna be able to draw some cards. 3 copies, a lot of 3 ofs. Yeah, 3 Stride Fodder and then 2 Ophidian for that. But 3 Weather Girl Lassie, 7k. And Oracle, when this unit boosts a unit with the Oracle ability, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top or bottom of your deck. If you put it on the bottom, gain plus 2k. And once per turn, GB1, when your drive check reveals a grade 3 card, countercharge 1. So the extra countercharge is nice based on the RNG, but looking at your top card of the deck is wonderful. Moving it to the bottom is wonderful, and gaining 2k to become a 9k booster. And 3 copies of our late game pusher, most important grade 1, Rapport Miko Nazuna. Rapport Miko. I just know her by Nazuna. Oracle, retire this unit. At the end of the battle, that it boosts a unit, you may pay the cost to draw a card. That's not the pressure part. The pressure is GB1. When this unit is placed on rearguard, choose one of your other rearguards with the Oracle ability in the same column as this unit, and it gets continuous rearguard. This unit gets plus 1k for each card in your hand. Give a Slifer the Sky Dragon effect. It's just wonderful, and it combos perfectly. It sometimes over combos with Nanase. Full name is 1 Advantage Miko Nanase. And Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, when our attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost you do. Look at 2 cards on top of your deck, put 1 card from among them into your hand, put the other on the bottom. That is not GB restricted, that's not Oracle restricted, that is simply an on hit. +1. There you go. GB2 Oracle, during your turn, this unit gets plus 1k for each card in your hand. So you can double up on the effect with Nazuna, or you can have a Nanase in one column with something like a Lassie behind her, and then a Nazuna in the other column, giving the boost to another unit with Oracle. It's fantastic. And that's 4 of her. 3? No, 2, yes. 2, because these are, there we go. Weather Girl Shake. Now, this can be bumped up. For me, I'm just running it at 2 because of my next card. 2 copies of Rigid Crane. But Weather Girl Shake, she is the grade 2 version of Lassie. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top or bottom. If you put a card to the bottom, this unit gains plus 2k. That is restricted by Oracle. But GB1, Counterblast 1, when your drive check reveals a grade 3 card, you can pay the cost to draw a card. She gains 2k. So with that, she's 15k. So anything behind her, yeah, literally anything besides the starter will make a 21k column. And that's wonderful. Since she has Oracle, you can boost her up with Nazuna. And Rigid Crane, on hit, GB1 and Oracle, Countercharge 1 and Soul Charge 1. He's also an 11k attacker on his own. That's part of the reason why I just run him. It's an 11k attack at GB1, Oracle, anytime, any place, no restrictions other than that. And you're generally going to be able to do that. If you hit, you Countercharge 1 and Soul Charge 1, so refund some things. That's nice. It's Oracle, so you can boost it up with Nazuna. And the card that is not a 12k attacker unrestricted, Ameno Oshio. But still a great card nonetheless. 3 copies. GB1 and Oracle, Counterblast 1. When this unit attacks you and pay the cost you do, look at 5 cards on top of your deck, search for up to 1 card with the Oracle ability from among them. The vast majority of the deck is, besides triggers. So it's like 30 cards. Put it into your hands. Reveal it. Put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck. And if you put a card into your hand, gain 3k. So only if you hit do you get to give 3k to him. So it becomes a 12k, but you're generally going to hit when you use it. But it's also got another skill that can be helpful. Put this unit into your soul. At the beginning of your main phase, if the number of cards in your hand is 4 or less, you may pay the cost if you do draw a card. With the Kutsui Kone, with the Soul Blast 2 from the main Susanoo, it's going to be tough to be able to pull that one off. But if you really need it, you get a soul and another card in your hand. Alright, on to the G-Zone. So first, G-Guardians, 2 copies of Sunrise on High God Hawk Ichibiyoshi. If you have 3 or more cards in hand, it's a 20k shield. Simple enough. 1 copy of what is often my favorite G card to go into. Excite Battle Sister Bavoroy. Oh, I keep lying again. There's another Battle Sister, but you can't start it. Counterblast 1, when it's placed on Guardian Circle, you can pay the cost to draw a card, then reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is grade 1 or greater, it gains 5k until end of that battle, and you can put the revealed card on the bottom of your deck if you want. Or you can leave it on top. But it's a 20k if you reveal a grade 1, and no matter what, if you Counterblast 1, you get to draw. Simple as that. 1 copy of Lozenge Magus Apex. Talked about her before. But her skill, GB1, Counterblast 1, choose face down G-Guardian from your G-Zone and turn it face up. When it's placed on Guardian Circle, if you do, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 in hand, the other on bottom. And 1 copy, because it's too damn expensive for the most part, and I've gotten used to it, Son of Eternity Amate Rasu, the best G-Guard in the deck, and the best G-Guard for the clan. When this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, if the number of cards in your hand is 4 or more, gains 10k shield. And when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, Soul Charge 1, look at the top card of your deck, put that card on top or bottom. Now to some utility strides that I never use, for the most part, but you can. State Affair Subjugation Deity Kamu Susanoo Oracle, gains 5k and a crit. And that's GB2 as well. GB2, Counterblast 2, when this unit is placed on Vanguard, if the number of cards in your hand is 4 or less, you may pay the cost to do. Draw until you have 5 cards. So, at its most, it could be a Counterblast 2 to draw 5. It's useful to just be in here because if you need it, it's there. It's generally not going to need it, but it is there just in case. 1 copy of Kieran Flip Fodder. On hit, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 in the hand, 1 in the bottom. It's something to flip with our main stride, Ichikishima. Speaking of flip fodder, 2 copies of Lord of Guidance Waka Hirume, GB2 and Oracle, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, G Persona Blast. Then draw a card, put a card from your hand on top of your deck. Guarantee a trigger, which is really nice, but you're generally not going to go into it. Deck used to focus on that, and my current Witch OTG build actually does focus on it before the GB8, especially with a lot of healing. Speaking of the GB8, 1 copy, generally try to end the game before you can get to her, but, you know, stuff happens. Chief Deity of the Heavens, Amaterasu. Once per turn, Generation Break 8, Counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Put up to 3 cards from among them into your hand. Put each of the rest on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Until end of turn, this unit gets Oracle. When your drive check reveals a trigger unit, all of the units in your front row get plus 5k until end of turn. As I mentioned it with the Precious Ophidian, once you do her skill, she does have Oracle, so Precious Ophidian can then Soul Blast 1 to draw a card. Just mentioning that, but if you call Precious Ophidian before Amaterasu using the skill, then you can't Soul Blast 1 to draw. 2 copies of First Stride, Dragon Destroyer Battle Deity Kamo Susanoo. There is the Oracle First Stride you can go into, but I like being able to not have to have Oracle to be able to flip. Because for his skill, just once per turn, G Persona Blast, and until end of turn he gets, when the attack hits, look at top 2, put 1 in the hand, 1 on the bottom, current effect. And GB3, during your turn, all your units get plus 2k. I remember way back before G Guardians, not way back, but what was it? A year ago, year and a half ago, something like that, way back. I'm gonna keep saying that, but it wasn't. Before G Guardians came out, you used to revolve the deck around using him at GB3 twice, go into like Kieran first, then go into him twice because you'd make 21k Tom columns. And 4 of the main stride, the main Win Con Stillwater Festival Deity Ichikishima. Once per turn, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, G Persona Blast, draw 2 cards. Then once per turn, GB3 in Oracle, choose a face down card from your G zone, turn it face up. During your turn, your opponent cannot call G guards or grade 0s from hand to Guardian Circle. And grade 0s. You know, they can't use either, so they can't call the grade 0s, they can't G guard. PGs, that's what they can do. Grade 2s, grade 3s, special skills, yeah, that all works. But this has been my Susanoo deck. Hope you enjoyed it. I am Joey, Cardfight Crazy. Hope you're crazy too.